Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So we have another report. Houston poll worker spews blackface insult at a voter. And so there's a two-part to this story. So the first part of this story is what had initially happened with the poll. So now I'm going to go into this story. So Houston poll worker spews blackface insult at voter. This was 16 hours ago. And so this is out of the Daily Beast. So this is pretty crazy because, as you know, the big hoopla was election day, and which really is part of today. It spills over into today. And so it goes on to say that a white election official made racist remarks to an African-American voter at the polling place on Tuesday. So the Houston Chronicle reports Rolanda Anthony said that she tried to vote at an Iglesia Bautista Libre. Okay, and so in North Houston, when the poll worker then said that there was an issue with her address. Okay, so this is how the incident had occurred, and she would need to fill out a form before she could vote. Assistant Election Judge Juanita Barnes reportedly ran over to Anthony and said it was illegal for her to try to change her address on election day. The pair then began to argue. So, if I were to wear my black face makeup, maybe you would understand what I'm telling you. That was the remark that was made. Very insulting. So Barnes said, according to Anthony wrote on Facebook that she had then tried to walk away from Barnes. But let's see what develops next. After her atrocious statement, I walked away. So she followed me throughout the voting location. Now, this sounds like another case of not only profiling, but also harassing a person of color. So voting while black would be this one. So I don't know if they're going to give her a nickname, but they might. So after this incident, it says she got followed around. So then she got followed around at the location and got in her face, not one, but 2 times. Finally, I had enough. And I said, I'm calling the police. So she wrote this. So she had the audacity to say, I'm white and they'll arrest you. People, haven't I told you that these people now have gotten emboldened? And by the way, you know, you see what's going on with the election day, that Republicans still hold the seats where they were, and it's even stronger. But Democrats are in a position now where they can make some decisions. And so that helps to some degree, but it's not the entire victory the Democrats were looking for. And so that's a whole nother video in and of itself that deals more with the politics of voting. So It goes on to say that this woman had the audacity to say that she and proclaim and say, I'm a white and they will arrest you and charge you with a crime and not me. Haven't you seen the news? So these people are well aware that they're in the news and that they've been doing this and that they've been outright overtly and coming out and emboldened with their hot button racism at African Americans. And so there's no hiding it anymore, people. So wake up. If you think this is over, it isn't. It is just getting started. We're at the tipping point. So presiding election, Judge Edith Randall reported separated Barnes and Anthony. So the Chronicle also reports a poll worker named Christina Stuckey quit in protest over Barnes' comments. So Harris County Sheriff Office spokesperson Thomas Gilliland, local news station KRTK, a poll worker and a voter were involved in the altercation that was verbal at first, and then sort of physical altercation occurred after that. So there was a little scuffle. Yeah, it's gotten to that point that they can even show the racism at the poll office. So the sheriff office also told the station that a citation for assault by contact was issued to Barnes for bumping into the female voter during an argument. So this lady followed her around not one time, but twice, and then got in the woman's face boldly and told her specifically, let me read these words. She had the audacity to say, I'm white. They'll arrest you and charge you with a crime and not me. Haven't you seen the news? Pretty much telling her what time a wake-up call it is. Okay? So that is in it of a nutshell. And so this is what took place. So let me tell you why. Trump, what it's saying here, Trump hails big victory in midterm despite losing the House. Okay? So he lost the House. Okay? And I did read where the Democrats are pretty much, they're in their seats. So there's more on that. But let's go quickly. I'm going to go because there was another article, same as this article, but a little more in depth. And so Harris County poll worker charged with assault over the Blackface. So this is 11 hours ago, okay? And so they charged her after this altercation had occurred there. Now you're going to see another side of what's going on, which is still extends from the first article. So Harris County poll worker was charged now with the assault over the Blackface incident. And this is by Gabriel Banks and Amaya Miller. Okay. And so you see this incident here, pictured here. Okay, so you see the woman up here. Okay. So these people are emboldened now, people. And so you have to know that this is what's going on. And so Juanita Barnes was removed from her duties as an alternate election judge on Tuesday after a black voter reported that Barnes made racist remarks and assaulted her at the polling place in Rolanda Anthony. Rolanda Anthony said this, okay? And so these are images right here. You're going to see images now that brings this article to life. And so this is the woman who was assaulted, okay? Okay, good morning. I just had a call that the sheriff at my voting location. So this is Rolanda Anthony, who is the judge with George Barnstone and 47 others. Okay, All right, good morning. I just had to call the sheriff at my voting location. I was racially profiled and disrespected, then threatened by a white lady working at the church where I'm voting. This lady questioned my residency, and when I explained that the address is completely correct, she told them to check it again because it couldn't be. When I finally challenged her, she declared maybe if I wore blackface makeup today, you'd be able to understand me. And so that was outright disrespectful. And so this is posted, what looks like it's on Facebook. So after her outrageous statement, I walked away, and she relentlessly, she followed me throughout the voting location and got in my face. She boldly got in this woman's face. Okay. And then not once, but twice. And finally I had enough and said that I'm calling the police. Okay. So this black lady wasn't fighting her. She wasn't hurling racial insults or saying anything that was threatening. This white woman got in her face and followed her twice, not once, but twice, and then made the blackface comment and then told her she was going to call the police and she wouldn't be arrested because she was white. Says she had the audacity to say, I'm a white woman. I'm white. They'll arrest you and charge you. They won't charge me. They'll charge you with a crime, not me. Haven't you seen the news? Oh, wow, people. These people are bold. Okay. If that is not bold, I don't know what is. Her name is Juanita Barnes, and she's the assistant election judge in Harris County Precinct 1012. I'm currently awaiting the arrival of Harris County Sheriff deputies. And so this is what was wrote on Rolanda Anthony's Facebook page, her Twitter page. And so an election day poll worker was relieved of her duties and charged with a misdemeanor of criminal assault after she allegedly she got physical with the black woman. Now, this is not black people doing anything to white people and getting physical. This is a white woman using a nasty comment that's clearly racial and getting in the woman's face, following her around the poll area, and then threatening her. Said she'd call the police on her and have her arrested, and that because she's white, she can do this. And she can charge the black woman with a crime. And then has the nerve to say, have you seen the news? So she bumped into the black voter and made that remark, about blackface, following some confusion over the woman's voter registration. So one poll worker walked off the job looking at this and knew that this was clear, flat out racism. At the Inglesia, now this is where this was, Inglesia Bautista Libre polling location in North Houston. After the incident, another was left in tears as she saw, and she gave a statement to the Harris County Sheriff Deputy about this altercation that had ensued. And so a team from the Harris County Attorney's Office arrived at the polling site and has launched an investigation. The voter, Rolanda Anthony, said that she believed the incident was a flagrant attempt to suppress her vote. And so they're suppressing black voters at the voting poll by deterring them with the racial insults. Are we going back in time, people, or what? So I feel my vote today is more important than ever before, Anthony said. The incident was among dozens of problems reported at the polling locations across Harris County, ranging from sites being slow to open in the morning to technical problems that limited the number of voting machines available. A state district judge ruled Tuesday afternoon that the county must operate 9 polling locations an extra hour until 8 p.m. because of all the delays. So in the incident at the Inglesia Bautista Libre, 10399 Veterans Memorial, Anthony said that she arrived at her polling location at 8 a.m. and was told by a poll worker that there was an issue with her address, and she was told to fill out a residency verification form. So Anthony, who is in her early 40s, asked the woman why she needed to fill out the form since her address is in the system and it appeared to match the ID perfectly. So she asked her nicely. Before the poll worker could respond, Anthony said Juanita Barnes, an alternate judge, election judge, moved close to Anthony and began yelling at her. And she had broken the law, said she broken the law by not updating her ID. Yelled at her in front of people. As 5 and 6 voters looked on, Anthony said that she told Barnes her address hadn't changed. It's the same. So Barnes, who is white, a white woman, then told Anthony, who is a black woman, maybe if I'd worn blackface makeup today, you could comprehend what I'm saying to you, according to Anthony and a witness. Edith Randall, the presiding election judge overseeing the tiny church reception room, intervened in the incident, eventually told Barnes that she was wrong in what she was doing and to get out of Anthony's way. Anthony and a witness said that Randall declined to comment. So as Anthony worked with the poll worker on her form, Barnes approached her again and was yelling at her, Anthony said. So Anthony later told the election judge that she was going to call the police. Barnes walked up again, and then this is where the physical part comes in. She bumped her with her shoulder. If you call the police, they're going to take you to jail and do something to you because I'm a white woman. I'm white, Barnes said, according to Anthony. So Ed Gonzalez, the sheriff at the Sheriff Ed, voters and poll workers should feel safe from harm while participating in the democratic process. We will not tolerate any form of violence or intimidation at the polls. HCSO, Texas. Okay, a deputy investigating the disturbance this morning, this is on Twitter, at the polling location located at 10399 Veterans Memorial issued a Class C misdemeanor citation for assault to a female assistant election judge who allegedly bumped a female voter during an argument. Okay, so Barnes was relieved of her duties and left the building about afternoon after the sheriff deputies and 2 lawyers and an investigator from the Harris County Attorney's Office arrived to take reports. Barnes declined to answer questions as she left the building. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said the woman was given a Class C misdemeanor citation. Voters and poll workers should feel safe from harm while participating in democratic process. Our democratic process, that is, Gonzalez tweeted. We will not tolerate any form of violence or intimidation at the polls. Poll worker Christina Stuckey, the daughter of Randall, the election judge, said that she left the polling site because she couldn't tolerate the abuse she said that Barnes handed out to her mother and Anthony. So she had just been saying little stuff all day, Stuckey said. So she was nitpicky all day. So a deputy is investigating disturbance this morning at the polling location located at 10399 Veterans Memorial issued a Class C misdemeanor citation for assault to a female assistant election judge who assault to a female assistant election judge who allegedly bumped a female voter during an argument. So that's the HCSO, Texas. So Anthony said she felt Barnes deliberately had caused a scene to impede the process or her process in voting. So I think her purpose was to prevent me from voting, Anthony said. She did that purposely and intentionally to intimidate me. But I will not be intimidated. Meanwhile, the state district judge ordered Harris County to keep 9 polling locations open after a lawsuit was filed by Texas Civil Rights Project and the Texas Organizing Project. The groups allege that people who tried to vote at 9 locations ran into trouble over technological issues with voting machines or because the polls opened late. So the state district judge, Frederica Phillips, a Democrat, granted a temporary restraining order. The harm is disenfranchisement outweighs defendants' interest because there is no legitimate governmental interest associated with closing the polls at 7 p.m. when voters had not been provided an adequate opportunity to vote, much less an important one that might justice depriving plaintiffs of their constitutional and statutory right to vote. The suit argued. So under the Texas Code, election code, that is, voters who arrive at 7 p.m. will cast provisional ballots, which are not automatically counted. While we are glad to hear that 9 polling locations cited in the lawsuit will remain open an hour later, it does not fully make up for the county's failure to properly run the election, said Michelle Tremillo, executive director of the Texas Organizing Project. So while it may not have been the county's intention, the impact of their failure is, in fact, a form of voter suppression. So they are suppressing people of color from voting and intimidating you at the poll. And so you might be faced with somebody following you and getting in your face and threatening to call the police on you. So voting while black people. These 9 polling locations predominantly serve communities of color. So if even one person lost their chance to vote, it is one person too many. So the 9 locations were the Iglesia Trinidad Church, 11602 Bobcat Road, Metcalf. Okay, so these are the polling locations. Metcalf Elementary School, 6100 Queenston Boulevard, Evelyn Thompson Elementary School, 220 Casa Grande Drive, Hampton Inn and Suites, 5820 Caddy Freeway, Fiesta Mart, 8130 Kirby Drive, and John Marshall Middle School, 1115 Noble Street, Historic Oaks of Allen Parkway Village Community Building, 1810 Blue Bonnet Place Circle, Lone Star College Cypress Center, 19710 and Clay Road, and Houston Community College, a Leaf Center, 13803 Bissonnet Street. And so this is the Houston Chronicle and the San Antonio Express News participated in the election land. Pro Publica project is covering access to the ballot and problems that prevent people from exercising their right to vote during the 2018 election. This story is part of that project. And so this is what occurred, people. And so it's getting to the point where you can get intimidated at the polling place. And you also, there was an incident, and I know this is outside of this article, but this is a bonus, where someone had threatened to shoot up a polling place. And so I will quickly pan over to that. This is a bonus article. Okay, so pictured here, this is the bonus article I'm throwing in. A man in Pennsylvania threatens to shoot up the polling place. And so they just have a shooting in Pennsylvania not long ago at a synagogue, and some people died. Election day 2018. He's pictured here. Okay, so this is our bonus article. The AGC. Okay, election day 2018. Man accused of threatening to shoot up polling place in Pennsylvania. And here he is pictured here. Authorities in Pennsylvania arrested Christopher Queen, 48, on Tuesday, November 6, 2018. Why? Washington County, Pennsylvania police on Tuesday arrested a man accusing of threatening to shoot up a Washington County polling place as voters casted their ballots for the midterm elections. Christopher Queen allegedly arrived at the South Franklin Fire Hall just before 9 a.m. and told workers that he had promised a gun and he was promised a gun and money if he voted. Straight party. So breaking, man arrested for threatening to shoot up the Washington County polling place. Witnesses told me an elderly poll worker was shaking uncontrollably after he left. State police just caught the suspect, and I'll have more details shortly. And so the poll workers said that he became angry when he was told he wasn't registered to vote and allegedly threatened to come back shooting. Authorities charged Queen with making terroristic threats, which is a felony. And so here he is pictured here. And so it is getting dangerous, people, at these polling places. Not only can you be racially profiled, such as what happened here with this woman, Rolanda Anthony, and this happened to her, and she posted on her either it's a Facebook account or it's a Twitter account, looks like it may be Twitter, that she was followed around and threatened by a white woman that she was going to be calling the police on her, that she's white, she won't be arrested, nothing will happen to her, and that she asked her, is her address correct? Even though her address was correct, she told her, she said, the address matches up, so why are you saying this? And so she questioned her residency, and then on top of that told her, then maybe you'll understand if I'm wearing it in blackface. Okay? Maybe if I'd worn my blackface makeup today, you could comprehend what I'm saying to you, according to Anthony, is what this woman had did to her. Okay? So this is really out of control. So it's gone to the polling places. So yes, it truly is political. For those of you who think that politics don't have nothing to do with it, there's some people that are deeply rooted in politics. Okay, so and it can get volatile to the point where you have people like this man right here who threatens to shoot up the place. Okay, this is a Christopher Queen, 48, threatening to shoot up the place. So you can be there to vote, and somebody like this can come in and threaten to shoot up the place where you're voting at. And this happened in Pennsylvania, and this is just where they had the shooting at the synagogue, where they killed those innocent people that were in their place of worship. So yeah, it is getting crazy, people. So be safe out there. And so let's go over to Yahoo real quick. I'm going to go here because it actually had a little more detail that I was trying to. Democrats take the House, but the GOP keeps the Senate. And so that is what is going on, people. And so these are sort of mini bonus articles in the article that I'm reporting to you. So it has gotten really crazy out there, people. This has gone to the point to where they have emboldened themselves to where they feel that they can now harass people while they're in the voting centers. So this is a woman here, says that she harassed the woman. So let's go over, and there's some still photos of this woman who was the poll worker in Harris County. This is the poll worker that they escorted out of the building. She said because she's a white woman that she can call the police and the police won't do anything to her. They'll do something to the black woman. And I believe this is the woman that was assaulted by the poll worker. And that was her name is Rolanda Anthony. Okay, this is the Houston branch, and that's pretty much it in and of a nutshell. And so, yes, it is getting dangerous at the polling places, people. So you have to be careful, because people like this woman right here who are boldly now, they're emboldened because of politics and because of who we got in office as leadership. And so that's basically what it's spelling out. And so it has gotten really racialized in politics now, and it has gotten to the point to where people feel that they have the green light to get in your face and threaten you and proclaim their whiteness, how much power it has in this country, which we all know that these people that are like this, that think like this, are using these tactics to intimidate people of color. And so this woman pretty much, she let it out. She let out her racism. She exposed herself, and she did it willingly, with no hesitation, no hiding it. And so this is what's happening at the schools. It's happening in the polls. It's happening where they're even making it harder for people to vote. Some places have closed polls to make it harder so that you have to go further. And I've heard in some cities, in some states, so you have to go further just to vote. And they've done that to places where there are more people of color. So I'm going to leave this article. This is the woman who felt like it was her duty to let the black woman know that she needs to wear blackface as a white woman to make her understand what time it is, and that she won't be arrested by the police because she's a white woman. This happened in Harris County. That's the poll worker that they let out. So I'm going to leave this video. Like, comment, subscribe. It is getting really crazy out there, and these people have gotten emboldened. And so you know why. And so they're actually using their racism at the polling places and during politics and hot button issues. And so what do you think about this? Man, times are really getting rough, getting even rougher. Thanks for listening.